All right, let's do this. It is Swing for the Fences. Holden Kushner. I got this guy over here won 100K last night. That guy down there won 10K, and I doubled my money to $40. So you guys, we are partying. I mean, I'm going to go out and get some chocolate milk this morning. Way to go, guys. Big T, 10K, baby. I'll get to JSU in a second. He's the main course, but wow. Good job, buddy.
Yeah, it's fun in the MMA. Cause I said it even when there's a few rough ones in there too during the COVID where I went like a month without winning anything in the MMA. But I always liked it. It's something about that sweat where you get all the fights on Saturday night. You get in there in the chat in the Discord chat that we have, and you just start sweating with everyone in there, and it's fun. Nothing compared to JSU though. I mean, this guy. I used to brag to him that I got the biggest hits. I got like a couple bigger than him, but he had more six figures. So what's he do? He just keeps coming and just rubbing it in my face, just six figures after six figures. Not only does he win six figures, but he does it with my advice. And I don't even win with my own advice. Like he's just rubbing it in my face even more.
Oh, that made it so much sweeter too. Just calling Tony up, thanking him for his great advice. Seriously, like I texted him last night, like when the slate was over, and I was literally just like, "Thank you for the great advice." Because if you didn't see my tweet, my tweet was pretty much me saying I didn't look at baseball literally all day because I had stuff going on with my family, and I listened to the show on my phone, like in my backyard with my family. And I heard AP and Tony talking about Houston. They loved Houston. They were all on Houston. Then I hear Tony talk about the Yankees bottom of the lineup. And so I just started kind of building, and I really wanted to go heavy on Houston and the Yankees, specifically the Yankees bottom. So really that 4 through 8 was what I was looking at specifically. So I made a few lineups with Houston and Yankees stacks, mainly with the 4 through 8 from the Yankees. And the Houston guys just kind of, besides Reddick, like literally like Tony said, like besides Reddick, I played pretty much all those guys. And Houston didn't really do it for me. Houston wasn't the reason, obviously, I won, but I had Gurriel in there, obviously. And then I had the guys you needed from the Yankees, the big guys, at the bottom, the 6 through 8, which really got it done for you.
Gary just are the Frazier and Gary are just free squares right now down in the 6, 7, 7, 8, wherever they're at. Gary finally found his stroke.
Gary is scary. By the way, that's 2 straight nights for Big T because I did that show with him on Friday, and you're like, go with the bottom of the Yankees lineup. So I did.
And they crushed both nights too.
Pino hits a home run. You said go with the Marlins. I threw some Marlins in there. That was looking good. Let's get into today's slate.
And don't even forget about the 2 sleepers. Like, what's his name?
Darren Ruff.
Ruff, who was cheap, and the Dietrich. Dietrich was low. I mean, it was a good night. I think I had 1,500 in. I only got like 3,500 back though, so I must not know how to use my own advice.
No, you did not do well. JSU, you should ask JSU how to use.
I know. I'm going to. I need to ask him how to close the deal because I'm just not a closer. He's a closer.
Let me say though. Let me honestly hold on. I just need to say one other thing because I don't want my tweet to sound like I'm rubbing it in people's faces. I'm trying to show that the content was literally all I looked at. I did nothing else on my own. I did not look at anything else. I literally listened to the show, looked at the playbook, the core plays, and then I made my lineups. It was that simple. And so that's my whole point is like, for those of you guys that are saying like, oh, how'd you make the lineups? What were you doing? Like, that is what I did. It's not my normal process. Normally I go through my own research and then I'll look at that stuff later, but that's just what happened today. And it just shows you that you can, and it doesn't matter. You want to say, oh yeah, I spent $3,000, whatever it was, that's fine. But my point is that the playbook and the core plays got you the winners. It doesn't matter how much you can play, whatever you want. You played the core plays and you listened to the advice. You are going to win money. And that's the whole point. That's what we want to show is that you'll win money.
And I honestly, like I had the bad combos, but if you played all the guys in there, like you would have won money. I didn't have the best combos. Like I had a few zeros in all the lineups. I just didn't have the right combination, but I still doubled up or tripled up my money, which You would have, in like AP in his thing. He only put 3 teams in, $20, 3 max tournament, finishes first place for a couple grand off $20 each entry. So doesn't matter. I hate when people use that excuse. Sure, you probably wouldn't have won 100 grand if you didn't play the bigger stake stuff, but that doesn't have anything to do with profiting, which is the most important thing anyways for the smaller stakes people. Doesn't matter how much you put in.
I mean, here you go. You're talking about one of the 5 best DFS players in the game, just listening to what you guys are saying and still winning a ton of money. So I recommend the product, but then again, I work here, so it really doesn't matter. Congrats, guys, to both of you. Let's just get into this slate. I think it's a fun one. We got a lot going on, and real quick, there is some big-time weather concerns with this New York Philly game. So just so you know, if you want to run it down really quick, but they're looking at about a ½ inch of rain up until about 4 or 5 o'clock. So I don't know if they're going to get this one in, but JSU, let's talk to you about this. If you're going to play Philadelphia and the Mets, you going any direction?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely had some interest in Philadelphia. They were a team that I was going to target. Now, with this weather concerns, I mean, it depends. Like, I don't know. Like, are we going to be able to get this game in at some point today? It seems like there's a risk, at least, that we may not. But there's also maybe they just push it till later and we get it in somehow. If you're playing and you want to take the risk, like I like Philadelphia. I like the bats. Wheeler was someone who I was definitely going to take a look at and play. And maybe with the weather concerns, he comes in a lot lower owned. And I guess what you hope for is like, they just kind of start the game in a delay, right? If it's really bad weather, and then they just kind of push it to later if the weather kind of stops and they can kind of get the field all set up and ready to go. And then Wheeler should be fine if there's no weather after that. So that's what I'm looking at. I think the Phillies bats are really interesting. I think Wheeler's interesting. But yeah.
All right. So that's the big story overall. Big T. Looking at those 2 pitchers, let's get into the pitchers here. But are either one of those guys? Well, listen, Porcello's not going to be on your list. What does that do to your thoughts on Wheeler?
Yeah, so with weather in baseball, I pretty much always treat it the same. Like when it's like this, unless I just absolutely love a spot, I'm just going to cross it off. Yeah. It's not going to be even on my radar. If somehow before lock, I mean, because we're always the most important thing in all DFS sports. Pay attention to all the information before lock because something could change. And like say they came out and say it cleared up and it's for sure going to play, maybe I circle back and look. But this isn't one of the games that, I mean, I don't need either pitcher. I don't need either lineup. So it's just a fade for me. It's completely off of my player pool, and I won't circle back unless something crazy happens.
All right, we're talking GPPs here. So let's get into the starting pitching. JSU, how do you have to have Scherzer, and how much exposure are you having to Scherzer today? And maybe give me another pitcher or two that you could see pairing with him so that you can get a few bats in the lineup.
I mean, you definitely want some exposure to Scherzer. He's the best pitcher on the slate. I mean, clearly. I mean, Zach Wheeler, who, we don't know if we're going to get him today. Like Tony said, he's probably just a cross off for me too, unless we get news that, the game looks like it's going to play after the start and the delay and then play. So like that takes him out of the equation for a spend up. So now Scherzer's ownership is going to go up even more than what it was probably already. And it makes sense against Baltimore that it does go up. And then, we got other guys at the top, like John Lester against Milwaukee. Like, I mean, he's
fine, but does he have the upside?
You there, buddy? All right.
Did I lose you for a second?
Yeah,
your
AirPods are.
We're all good. So, Big T, how are you attacking this slate with Scherzer? And then you look at McCullers, the K rate's down a little bit. There's guys like Eliezer Hernandez that are out there. Let's just start with your top tier, your exposure to Scherzer, and where do you go from there to pair him up?
Yeah, so I think pitching is really easy today just because there's not that many guys I like on the slate. And Scherzer's just in a great spot. I mean, his projection pops off the page. The matchup pops off the page. The weather, as long as we do got to keep a little bit of an eye on it just because there is some rain there. I don't think it's too bad, but there is a little bit of weather, so we got to keep an eye. But as long as it's going to play, I love Scherzer. I mean, his projection's really high. I haven't been playing the studs as much at pitcher just because they haven't gone super deep, haven't needed them. But today is a day I'm definitely going to play Max. He just looks really good in this spot. Baltimore's been good on offense, but I think Max, he throws a gem today. And after that, it's McCullers, honestly. Like, it's all cheap guys after that. But at the top, it's just Max and McCullers. McCullers looked really good last time out. What did he? 28 DK points, 7 innings, it looks like, 5 Ks. So he had a nice game. I wanted to see that too because he didn't look too good to me out of the gate. I think he had maybe 2 starts or something before that, but he didn't look good. He looked really good last start. Now he gets Seattle, which I guarantee all the chalk people are going to love McCullers today just because it makes sense. And I do like him. I just like Max more. If you play them both, I'm fine with that too. I mean, they're both great options. They're going to be the 2 highest owned pitchers on the slate. And they're both good. Like, I don't mind playing chalk in baseball in spots because I know we can get different in other spots as we get to the hitters and stuff. So clearly the 2 best guys, I think, are Max and McCullers at the top.
All right. JSU, did you mention McCullers very much? Just a little bit. And then maybe go through the rest of the mid-tier because that's basically where we are, right? It's like Scherzer, everybody else, maybe some McCullers in there. Maybe there's somebody else in there. But give me thoughts on McCullers going down, maybe through the mid-tier.
Yeah, I mean, Lance McCullers, he's had a up and down start to this season, and he hasn't really shown the big K upside. I mean, I think the most Ks he's had in one game is 6, a 4, 5, and 1 in his 4 starts are his K upside. But I mean, if he can get a few more Ks going, I mean, he's definitely has a good upside against Seattle. Seattle has a lot of, bats they can somewhat counter with that'll be low owned. If you want, you're talking a leverage stack against them, but he's definitely clearly the second best option after Scherzer if we're just discounting Wheeler because of weather. So, I mean, I can't argue with what Big T said. I can't argue with, just kind of sticking with, at least one of those 2 guys or both together and just kind of building your lineups from there. Because at least one of those 2 guys is going to smash. It probably will be both of them. It's going to be very popular, though, to pair both of these guys up together. Lester, I'm just out on. He's fine. He's safe, but he doesn't just show, upside to me. He doesn't have that big strikeout upside. At least Lance McCullers, I think he has the ability to have big strikeout upside. Scherzer, same thing. And he's right in that price range where he's, in the middle of those 2. So I would much prefer them. And then as we go down, you've got guys like Dallas Keuchel, another guy who's not a big K guy, Dakota Hudson, ground ball guy. I don't want to pay the price tags on these guys. So then we get to, Minnesota Twins, Dubneck. How you say it, Holden? Give me what is it?
Dubneck.
All right. I was
glasses guy. Call him the goggles guy. We know who you
the
are.
Goggles guy? All right.
Call him the goggles guy.
Goggles guy. I mean, he gets one of the softer matchups on the board against KC. He's somewhat 7,900. I think I would prefer him in this mid-tier range over guys like Hudson, Keuchel, Lester, Porcillo, Singer. I think it would be him for me if I had to pick in the mid-range.
Okay, very good. Hey, Big T, and then you mentioned McCullers. The guy had a no-hitter going into the 7th. So he just kind of broke through in his last start. You would like to see more Ks, of course. Anybody else we missed? Eliezer Hernandez, is he worth 1% exposure? Justice Sheffield's coming off that remarkable start against Colorado, but he gets the Houston Astros now. So give us some final thoughts on the pitching, Big T.
Yeah, so someone in the chat earlier was talking about playing this Dobnak or whatever his name is and Keuchel. And I said, you can't play those guys on this slate. It's like kissing your sister. That's why the dude these dudes have no strikeout upside whatsoever on a slate with some upside. But Eliezer Hernandez actually might end up on my main team. He's super cheap, and I like him. I mean, he's got a nice projection. He's going to be higher owned than you think, though, just because he's cheap and the Braves offense isn't great. You look at the lineup, it's bad from 5 down. And
5 down, Acuna and Albies are gone. I mean, they're
yeah, like their lineup is not good right now. So it's a sneaky good spot for Eliza Hernandez. And he's so cheap. I mean, 6,800. And Means on the other side of the Washington game, again, we got the same great pitching weather. We got Washington's kind of like Atlanta, where their lineup isn't the normal lineup. I mean, they got Kurt Suzuki hitting 4th, Keyboom hitting 5th. I like Means, and he's cheap. So, I mean, you got literally Eliza is 66, Means 64. I think Lindbaum, too, always ends up popular, 63. And then even Robbie Erlin in that Atlanta game, he's not going to go deep at all, but he's 4K. Whenever you get a 4K pitcher against Miami, I mean, they have to at least be on your list for like a team. If you're playing 20 teams or something, you never know. I mean, maybe all the pitchers struggle. He gets you 14 points or something, and that ends up being good. So I think it's loaded at the bottom. I only have 6 in my whole player pool, the 2 studs and then those 4 cheap guys. Eliza, Means, Lindbaum, and Erlin. But Eliza and Means are both really good options, I think.
Wow. Turner, Soto, Asdrubal Cabrera's hitting 3rd. Kurt Suzuki clean up. Carter Keyboom, Josh Harrison.
Really bad lineup, like terrible. I think Means is really, really sneaky good.
Oh, man. I can't trust John Means, but boy, after 1-2, that is a brutal.
Just literally don't let Soto hit a bomb. That's all you got to do.
He's going to hit a home run.
He probably is. I mean, he's probably in the first inning. It'll be 2-0 right out of the gate.
Good. Let it end up 2-0. Real quick, JSU, I didn't go down to the bottom of the barrel with you. Hernandez, what would you say about Means? Anything?
Yeah, I mean, Hernandez is definitely on my list. I agree with Tony. I think he's got upside. And like you said, with those 2 guys out of that Atlanta lineup, it's a lot weaker. So I like that call a lot at 6,600. I'm not on Means. I get that the lineup's weak, but I mean, I'm just going to stay away. I'm going back to Soto, and I might play some, some of those guys like Turner or Struble, like in a mini stack or something like that. I'm not gonna full stack Washington, but I'm definitely gonna take some bats because I do see, I do really like Turner and Soto today. So. I mean, how can't you like Soto? Like, I just don't like the guy has just been on fire. I don't understand how we aren't all playing him. Like, he's just so good right now. But I mean, no Means for me. I think it's Hernandez, and I'm gonna throw the kid Lindblom into the picture here. He, at least to me, has some of the better strikeout upside in this bottom range. You know, he's had 8, 7, and 5 Ks in his 3 starts. So at least he does have the K upside, and he's 6,300. So I think I'd take a shot with him as well.
All right, let's get to the offense, guys. And again, if you're watching on YouTube right now, just give us a thumbs up. Let's do it. Get some thumbs up. We get, 150? And you get some swag? I like that. So
yeah.
If you're watching on YouTube right now, what's up? Make sure you like and you subscribe. That's even more important. Subscribe to that. You don't have to like us. Just watch us. So Washington and Baltimore, we just talked about these 2 pitchers, Big T, but when we're looking at it, bottom line, there are about 2 hitters that you can feel comfortable with in the Nats lineup, unless you think Means is just that bad, and then you can play some other guys too. But there's no way you're looking at Baltimore, are you?
No. I mean, some days I do look for leverage and against one of the chalkier pitchers, but I just love Max today. I'll probably be all in on Max even. So there's no way I'm playing Baltimore. I mean, if you didn't like Max for some reason, or the weather creeps in, or whatever happened, maybe you could go there. But I don't see a reason. I mean, Washington, I said I like Means, but you can always stack Washington. I mean, you can always play Trey and Soto. Maybe I wouldn't go probably just 1 to 5. I'd probably go 1, 2, and then play like some of these guys at the bottom, like Michael Taylor, Defoe, even Robles, like Harrison, even. I mean, I don't know. Like, it's not my favorite stack, but you can always make a case for Washington when you got guys like Soto and Turner to set the table for you. And you never know. Kurt Suzuki hits bombs, as Drupal has big games. So, I mean, I don't completely hate it. And it's only on DK. It's only 7 games if the Mets get rained out. So it's not a huge slate. So Washington's definitely got my interest at least a little bit.
We got the Indians and the Tigers. The Indians offense finally waking up against some really bad pitching. And they get more bad pitching today. They're taking on Michael Fulmer, who has just been a disaster. But he did hit 95 and 97 with his fastball, so maybe the velocity's coming back, and maybe that changes today. On the other side, you got Adam Plutko. We talked about him. He's got some decent numbers, but he's not a strikeout guy. Neither one of these offenses is tearing it up whatsoever. I think C.J. Cron just went on the DLs, or on the IL, excuse me. So they don't even have C.J. Cron in that Tigers lineup. JSU, let's start with you here. Any plays on either side, especially with what's going on with Fulmer starting? I think they're going to go, Alexander after him. This will be interesting today. Do you like anybody from this game?
Yeah, I think this is a game where I could see plays from it. I'm not doing like a 150. I'm probably going to make like 3 lineups again or something like that. So it's probably a game where if I was making 150, I would definitely have exposure to this game. But I think it's just a game from all sides I'm just going to kind of stay away from. I mean, like, there is no problem if you want to play like a Jose Ramirez or, from the Indians, like a Lindor. Like, you want to play a guy like that. Like, I'm totally fine with playing a guy like that. Taking like a Nico Goodrum for a little cheaper on the Detroit side. Like, I'd be fine with that too. But I'm not going to be like full stacking either of these two teams. It would be like a one-off for me if I went here.
Any interest there, Big T?
Yeah, I think it's a weird line for me too, because Cleveland has owned Detroit. They've been heating up a little bit, yet the line is only like 135 or something, which, like, this is a good example for baseball where we're a 7-game slate or 8-game slate on DK, a little higher on FanDuel, but like, no one's going to play a team like Detroit. They got a pretty high total, and the names are completely disgusting. So, like, you put a stack in with Scope and Harold Castro in the 2-hole and Candelario. These guys, like, it's disgusting. You're just literally putting them in there hoping they just go off. But you get them 1 or 2% owned, and you just have upside on a small slate against a guy like Plutko that sucks himself. The line tells me Detroit's got a chance. Again, this is similar to Washington, where it's not going to be my favorite stack if I'm playing one team. But anyway, it's much harder to go in here and stack Houston, 5 Houston guys, 3 Twins guys today, all just dead chalky guys, and win a tournament. It's way harder to do that than to come in and play 5 ugly Detroit guys and then play whoever you want with them. Play the best 3 Astros. Play the best 4 Astros even. With Detroit, you can play Max and McCullers with it because of the pricing, and you have a much cleaner path to the top of the charts. And sure, it's disgusting to plug these dudes into your lineup because they suck, but they got upside. The line tells you they got upside. And yeah, I mean, Cleveland is obviously, I say it every time they face a bad righty, but Tyler Naquin in that 6-hole, 3,300 on DraftKings. People that watch the baseball shows will start to know all my like scrub guys that I like that end up low owned. Naquin's one of them against right-handed pitching. He hit a bomb for me, I think, 2 days ago on our show. Holden hit a bomb that night.
Because of you, I played him and I played Darren Ruff as your other guy.
Yeah, against the lefties. I mean, these guys, they're my favorite because no one plays them. I mean, today Naquin, it's a smaller slate. He's cheap. He'll get some ownership. But he's still a great play. He's super cheap in the 6-hole against a bad pitcher. So I like both sides a little bit in this game. And Detroit is really good 3 or 4 man to go with some chalky guys.
All right, very good.
Detroit makes a lot of sense too if you're getting in Scherzer. Like, if you're locking in Scherzer, like it makes sense from a stacking standpoint because they're just so easy to get in. I will say, if I was stacking Detroit, Jacoby Jones in the 9-hole would definitely be in my. He would be 100% on my stack. Like, no doubt. I would do the wraparound stack, or I'd do the bottom, like Big T.
It's perfect, though. Seriously, like, because you can play a catcher, too. Play Grainer, who's free, Jacoby, and wrap around with Castro, who's free, Goodrum. That's just 4 Detroit guys. You can play anyone else on your team you want, as chalky as you want, as good as you want. Like that. That's how you build a baseball team.
You're talking me into some of these cheap Detroit Tigers because it makes sense now with the lineup construction and with the pitcher that we want, Scherzer. Wow. It does make a lot of sense.
All right. Very good. I like it, guys. Getting a little crazy, getting a little weird on this Sunday morning.
I'm building that team for sure, too. I don't know who it's going to be with yet, but that team will be in one of my 3 builds. I promise you.
All right. So we got Atlanta and Miami. This one's down in Miami, and both teams just love to strike out. I believe they're both over at least 25% strikeout rate. So that's why we were talking about Hernandez earlier, right? And then Robbie Erlin is complete garbage. Let's start with the Atlanta side, though. Again, no Acuna, no Albies. They still have Swanson, Freeman, Ozuna, Markakis, but Duvall, they're going up against the right hander. I'm not worried about him. And then on the Miami side, this is what's interesting to me. Like, are we attacking Erlin again with guys like Jonathan Villar, Jesus Aguilar, JSU? Start with you. Any names from this game? Any thoughts on maybe stacking either team?
Well, I will say, like, from the Miami side, you can definitely get, a few cheap guys, so they make a little sense. But the problem is Erlin's not going to go. Tony brought it up when he talked about pitcher. He's not going to go very deep into this game. You're not going to get very much Robbie Erlin, I don't think. I think like a Jesus Aguilar is like the one-off is in play. Logan Forsythe at 3,400 hitting in the 7-hole. I think he's in play from Miami. But honestly, I think it's another spot where it's like a mini stack for me or just like a one-off, but I'm not going to be heavy on it. From the Atlanta side, I think I like Hernandez as a pitcher more. So like for tournaments, I think I'm going to be more on the Hernandez side. So I won't be on the bats.
T, you were on Miami the other night. People kind of sleep on this team offensively because they pop up from time to time. Is today a Marlins day?
Yeah, I mean, I don't love them today, but I still think their lineup is way better than people think it is. And it's got a bunch of ugly names too. And today it honestly doesn't look as good as it has at times. But yeah, I'm more on the pitchers. I'm not sleeping on Robbie Erlin either with a big stack. I know he's only going to go 50 pitches or something, but he's 4K. You just don't. You play him with Scherzer, and you hope Scherzer goes off, and you hope Erlin gets you 15, which I think he can get you like 15. He's not the worst ever. And you got guys like Brinson batting 5th, Diaz batting 4th. I mean, guys strike out in that lineup. Logan Forsythe is good against lefties, but he strikes out. I don't know. He's not going to be on my main team, but I don't hate Erlin. Like, I think he can get us double digits, which is all we need. Definitely no bats for me. If I was going to play any bat in this game, it would be Logan Forsythe in the 7-hole. But like JSU said, I don't think Erlin goes deep, so I only want him against Erlin. He's a lefty masher too, so I'm off of him today, but he's the only guy I would have any interest in, really.
Over under 10 points for Robbie Erlin today, JSU.
I will say under.
Okay.
I'll say over for sure.
Well, I know you will because you already said he was getting double digits.
I didn't say he was getting double digits. I said that's all I need to get.
No, that's true. So you think, though, he's going to get double digits, though?
Yeah, just to argue with you.
Yeah.
I actually do think he gets double digits, though. I think he gets.
All right, guys. Let's get to maybe the most popular team on the slate today. We got Houston. Their implied total is about 5.8. They got a loaded lineup there. Springer, Bregman, Yordan, as you say, is back. So Alvarez is crushing. I mean, what team has Carlos Correa hitting 6th and 7th? Altuve's hitting 7th today. He has been so bad. Right? What do you want?
He was on JSU's winner yesterday, though. He got the job. The winners win.
He got that knock at the end of the game. I think it was the 8th inning. He got that nice little base knock up the middle, which definitely felt good having him.
How high on this list is this stack, JSU? Where's Houston?
I mean, they're gonna be the most popular team on the slate. We don't have cores. The problem is that we got Scherzer. I think like the way Tony would probably build the team, I would say, is he'd probably take a Scherzer in a Erlin or something like that, or a Hernandez, someone cheap like that to kind of pair to build his Houston stack. Now, I mean, Houston, they kind of struggled. I mean, outside of Gurriel, like a lot of those guys kind of struggled throughout the game, and they were going up against a lefty for a while. I mean, they're a great stack. I think, though, the leverage play if you wanted to attack, Tony talked about, like not liking the Baltimore side, even as a leverage play against Scherzer. I think if you had one leverage stack, it would be against McCullers because he can go wild at some points. So if you were building 150 teams, I wouldn't hate a Seattle stack. Or like if you were playing a large field GPP and you wanted to be really different, like a Seattle stack, you will 100% be very different because McCullers is going to be 40, 50% owned on the slate. And honestly, too, he's obviously not in the level of Max Scherzer. Like, he's a good pitcher, but he's not Max Scherzer. So if I had to choose between stacking against one of those guys, it would be McCullers. I'm still going to play some McCullers, but I don't hate the Seattle stack as a leverage play.
Big T, do you hate the Seattle stack as a leverage play, or do you love it?
No, I mean, I get the point of it, and I definitely like McCullers a lot less than I like Max. So roster construction even takes me down to a guy like Eliza or Means. And so I might be off McCullers a decent amount. I'm not going to completely fade him because it is a really good spot, and he looked really good last time out. So I think especially if you're playing Houston, like I know we'll use the term game stack. It doesn't necessarily apply in baseball, but it's still, you can still use it here. Like if you play 4 or 5 Houston guys, come back with these lefties like Seager, Vogelbach, and then throw in whoever for your other guy. Maybe you throw a random +1 like we talked about in one of the other games. It could be anybody that we talked about in that last spot. But, yeah, like Seager and Vogelbach definitely have upside. Vogelbach's $3K, which gives you a good price point too. I don't know. It's not my favorite just because I like Detroit a bunch. Even who else? The Washington bottom of the lineup a little bit has some really cheap guys. So I don't think I'm going to go there today, but I love the leverage, the leverage call because McCullers is going to be 40% owned. So if they knock him early with a couple bombs, again, great leverage, which we love in baseball.
I mean, he could be more than that, Tony, even without Wheeler. Like, if people are afraid and they don't want to play Wheeler, like we're kind of thinking, like we're just going to stay away from that game.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to think people are going to – that's just going to give Scherzer and McCullers split ownership on what Wheeler was going to be. So, I think he could be even more than 40%, honestly, in some contests.
Oof. If you guys are stacking Houston, how do you get a little different?
Tony,
Same
this
way
is
we
your
always
specialty.
do, I think. You go down to the bottom. I mean, you got for one, no one's going to play Jose Altuve. Like, I think he's really cold. I hate playing cold people, but it just shows you how quick you can pivot. The dude is 5,100, which is the second most expensive on the team, and he's in the 7 hole. People are not going to play him, and I don't usually like playing. I'm contradicted here because I don't usually play cold people in baseball. I like to ride the hot streaks a little more. But when you factor in, you can get Jose Altuve low owned, Kyle Tucker in a lefty-lefty matchup. Like, literally no one's going to play him. Like, you're going to get him 3% owned on the best stack of the day. Correa is always somewhat lower just because he's in the 6 hole. Maldonado as a catcher in the 9. The good part about this lineup is you can play all of them. Again, I know I said this yesterday. Reddick is really the only one I don't play because he's in the 2 hole. He's cheap, so people will play him. And I just don't think he has the upside. Like, he doesn't – sure, he's going to have a couple games where he goes off and make me look stupid. But over the course of the year, I just don't think he's that good, honestly. So I don't want to play him. I don't like him.
Yeah, because he shouldn't even be in the major leagues either. I mean,
why is he in the 2 hole too? Like, I don't get why they put him in spots like that.
It's the worst. He's just like a black hole, especially in DFS. JSU, anything to add to that? Anybody in particular?
Yeah, no, I mean, I agree with Tony. It's like the bottom half of this lineup. No one's going to play Altuve because of his price. And if he's, he's hitting down there, I mean, it's going to be tough to click on him. But I kind of like, going back to that like 5 through 8, stack. I mean, or 4 through 8, Jordan, Gurriel, Correa, Altuve, Kyle Tucker. That'd be kind of the way I would stack Houston today and hope that Springer flops, I guess, again. So, yeah, I mean, that's what I'm thinking.
Somebody in the chat says, did you see this? Did you see that? Someone in the chat says Altuve projects as the highest owned player today. According to who?
Yeah, it's a joke. He's busted.
Oh, he was joking?
He had to have been. The guy's hitting, what is he hitting, 7th?
Yeah, and he's 5,100. Like, he's not going to be the highest owned guy on a Max Scherzer slate. Like, people are going to play pitching.
All right, let's get to the Twins then.
I hope he's joking. What was his name? Steve Anthony, I hope you're joking, buddy.
So, I don't know if you guys know Brady Singer, but he just beat the Twins with the Royals, gave up 2 runs in 5 innings. He struck out 4, gave up 5 hits. He looked good, but it's the rematch today. So now the Twins have seen this guy one time. They're gonna be what? One of the top 4 or 5 most popular stacks. You know I am. I'm always throwing a Twin stack in there just about every day. So, Tony, interest in the Twins, and really, I mean, can you go much below Sanoa? You love the bottom of the order, but Arias, Buxton, maybe Alex Avila, but I mean, I don't know about stacking the bottom of that. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, so Minnesota, I agree with your first take originally. They should be in your list every single day for the entire year, as long as these lineups stay the way with Cruz and these power guys in the middle. But I think Brady Singer's better than most people think. And I don't know. I'm starting to like these other stacks more. So I think I'm off the Twins. I usually say to always stack them. So maybe you want to do that so you can bring the punishment to me when they go off today, and I faded them finally. But I don't know. I want to see the lineup too. I don't think this is one of the few lineups we don't have yet. Sundays we get weird lineups sometimes too. So I want to see the lineup, but I think I'm leaning towards fading.
Anything from the Royals side today? Going against McCullers? You're not messing with the Royals, are you?
No, I'm definitely off.
Hold on. What am I doing? Not McCullers. Dobnak.
Against friggin' Dobnak, yeah. No, I mean, he's a ground ball pitcher. He's not a good strikeout guy, but he's a decent pitcher. So I'm off the Royals, though.
JSU, any plays from this game, and what's your take on the Twins today?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be afraid that Singer pitched a decent game against the Twins last time out. Like, I'll throw that game out. Like, I hope people think that way and stay away from the Twins. I just don't see it happening on the slate where you got Houston. I think the Twins come in as one of the more popular stacks right after Houston. But I don't know. We'll see. I mean, I hope not. I hope people see it and say, oh, we'll stay away from the Twins. I'm with Tony, and I'm not wavering here. I'm sticking with it. The Twins are a dangerous lineup. You look at this slate, they're one of those teams where they could easily have double-digit runs like any day. Any day. They're just so powerful. They got so much pop. I agree that I want to see the lineup.
So the lineup just hit while we were talking.
I think it just dropped, yeah.
What is it?
Kepler, Polanco, Cruz. Oh, they got all the big guys in there. Rosario, Marwin, Arias, Sano, Buxton, Avila. Basically, they're just rolling out their opening day lineup in this game. So they're full force, JSU.
Yeah, I mean, I like this lineup. I don't mind the bottom half. Like, I'll play the bottom half 100% in this lineup.
Well, who in particular, though? Because we're talking about stacks, obviously, but Arias, right. Buxton, these guys, is that where you'd go?
I mean, I would probably play some. I'd probably play some Buxton. I don't know about Arias. Maybe if I was doing a wraparound stack, I might play some Arias, or I might go like 4 through 8. It depends on what I end up doing, but it would either be like a 9, 1, 2, 3, 4, or the opposite would be like a 4 through 8, something like that. So that'd be my strategy here with the Twins, just because I do think they're going to be popular. Like, they have to be popular after the Stros.
Hey, Big T, we see the lineup now. I mean, they're rolling that out, the big lineup, but you're still fading.
Yeah, I'm still fading, but I get it. I get why people are playing. But again, I'm only playing 3 teams. Like I do, I like playing 3 teams in baseball. I just pick 3 different kind of routes. If I really love the spot, maybe I go all in some days on it. But most days, I just pick 3 different routes a little bit in baseball. Maybe lock the pitchers. And I don't think Minnesota cracks my top 3. So, yeah, I think I'm off.
So we got Dakota Hudson and Dallas Keuchel going head-to-head in this next one. So the White Sox, I know JSU, or I think JSU, is on some White Sox today. There are a couple players that really stand out on that side. For St. Louis, they came out pretty hot. But didn't they sweep the doubleheader? They're just red hot coming off of the COVID mess. So the Cardinals are going up against Dallas Keuchel, too. That'll be an interesting one, and then Dakota Hudson. So, Big T, you're on the screen. I'll start with you. What's sexy from this game?
Yeah, the White Sox, man, are maybe my favorite stack of the day. I just love Moncada against bad righties. It just always pops off the page to me. Honestly, I'll probably play him all three teams, at least two of my three teams. And Timmy Anderson, I usually like way better against lefties, but I like him against bad pitchers like Hudson too. This lineup's deep. I mean, Yasmani is maybe the best hitting catcher on the slate today, right there. Perfect spot, 3-hole, much better against righties too. Abreu, the lineup's deep. No one's going to play Edwin. You want to always talk about it, but you got Abreu in the 4-hole, E5 in the 6-hole. A little bit cheaper. No one's going to play him. Mazzara and this Mendick down in the 9-hole is $2,400. Yet another example of how I would like to build a team with Max. Play my favorites, Anderson and Moncada. Go down to the bottom. Mazzara has shown power at times. In the 8, Mendick is free in the 9-hole. There you go, 8, 9, 1, 2, and then pick whatever other player you want for your 5th player, whoever fits price-wise or with your team. And that's just how I like to build teams. I mean, sure, the dudes aren't awesome at the bottom, but so many times in baseball they crush. And, I love the White Sox. The White Sox are definitely my favorite stack, I think.
Are they going to be popular today?
The weird part about this slate is there's only 7 games, but I feel like there's lots of directions you can go. So I don't think they can be. I mean, maybe 10% like a lot of these teams, but I mean, 10% isn't going to scare me really in baseball.
At JSU, I feel like you're on the Sox too. So give me the plan of attack there.
Yeah, I'm 100% with Tony on this. I think they're one of my favorite teams for tournaments. I hope they get overlooked. I was really looking at E5. Like, I think a lot of people will overlook him. 4K on DraftKings, hitting the 6-hole. People will want Abreu, and I have no problem with Abreu. It's just you can only have one first baseman. I think that'll get you a little different, So, and then I'm with him on Moncada and Grandal. Like, I like those guys. At the top, Timmy Anderson. Those are good guys. And then even guys like, Jimenez, Roberts, they got pop, you know what I mean? They got power. So I don't mind them either. So I like White Sox today. They're definitely going to be on at least one of my 3 teams.
Yeah, Roberts an interesting one too. He's got all the flair. I think he just hit a home run last night, I want to say. He hit a home run.
Yeah, he did. He did.
He's got a little bit of a little dry spell going on right now. That's fine. Your St. Louis take, JSU. Anything against Keuchel?
I think St. Louis is a team I'm probably going to stay off of on this slate. I don't mind if you wanted to play like a Goldie, someone like that. But Keuchel's someone who just, to me, he's one of those pitchers who, like, I never want to roster him because I feel like he just doesn't give me the consistent upside that I want from a pitcher. But at the same time, he always seems to do just enough to, like, limit the damage where he's not just getting crushed all the time. That's just me. So I'm probably going to stay away.
Yeah, I'm trying to look here. If there was any other weather in that game, and if you're going to get any advantage, and I'm not seeing very much. So let's see. Let's get to this last one. We've got the Brewers, at least on the DraftKings main slate. We got the Brewers and the Cubs. We got the wind blowing in just a little bit. I mean, I don't know how much of an effect it's going to have. Nonetheless, that is there. Tony, first of all, I never got your thoughts on St. Louis, and I have a feeling it's going to be a quick thought. But do you have a quick thought on St. Louis?
So I completely agree with JSU's. The funny thing with Keuchel, like, he always gets like bases loaded, no outs, and all of a sudden he'll get like he's just so freaking lucky, like Lester. But it just happens so much that it's just not luck. Maybe I feel like he's always going to get shelled, and it never happens. But like Tyler O'Neill in the 4-hole for 3,300. perfect example of a +1 for me. I love my +1s. A lot of people just go 5 and 3 in baseball, which is fine. It's been proven to be the highest upside. I just think if I throw 1 or 2 +1s or even 3 in with my stack, and when they hit bombs and have big games, you just print money. And I've had so much success with it, just random +1s like this. No matter who you play, if you play Tyler O'Neill as your +1 and he hits a bomb, you're just unique, and you shoot up the leaderboard. And I love him today. He's cheap. He gives you everything you need. Yeah, and I mean, you can play Goldie too if you wanted to play 2 guys, but definitely not full stack, more of a +1. I do think Tyler O'Neill hits a bomb, though, for sure. If people are into that kind of thing. If you like bombs on your team, you might want to play Tyler O'Neill.
He hits dingers. He's gonna
hit a dinger today.
You like home runs, play Tyler O'Neill.
Yeah. If you like cheap home runs, 3,300.
That's what I mean, though. Like against Keuchel, you don't want too many guys. Like Tony, he just always seems to get out. I mean, the guy's had double-digit ground balls in every game this year.
It's so tilting.
It's just
and it'll
ridiculous.
be bases loaded, and you're like Tyler O'Neill will be coming up. You're feeling great, and then somehow he gets a triple play or something to get out of it.
All right, last game then, Milwaukee and the Cubs. T, let's just stay with you on this one. Lester's actually – I'm very surprised. I thought Lester was completely washed coming into this year, and he's gotten off to a nice start. I mean, that's the bottom line. The numbers are good. You can look at everything else, but he's got the job done to this point. Ryan Braun's going up against a left-hander today. Is how popular is Ryan Braun going to be? I don't know. Wow, did you see what they did to Yelich here? Let's see. Nah, he's still in the 3, so that's fine. He's there. Here, they've got really good bats, Avisail Garcia. So do you just say these guys got some great bats? Let's just throw them up against Lester, who doesn't throw hard anymore?
Yeah, it's similar point to the Keuchel. I worry about these 2 guys. I think they both suck, for the record. Like, I think Keuchel sucks. I think Lester sucks. I think they're really bad. But they just figure out a way to do it. I do like this Milwaukee lineup, though, like 1 through 5. It's another lineup where I don't like the bottom much. Like I like Smoke better against when he can hit from the left side of the plate. Pena, whatever, Urias, Arcia. Like, I don't like those dudes at the bottom. But 1 through 5, you got Braun, who's always hit lefties. Hura, obviously, is going to be good against lefties. Yelich is one of the best always, even lefty-lefty. And then you got 2 lefty mashers, the Jerk Store and Avi Garcia. Both have always mashed lefties. They're both cheap. Again, though, like, I look at it a lot like the Cardinals spot where I don't want to play 5. I could play 3, though. Like, if I was playing Milwaukee, I would play Jerk Store and Avi Garcia, and then 1 of the top 3, whoever fit, and then put them with your favorite stack, with Houston or something. I definitely could see myself doing that. But another, like, secondary stack for Milwaukee.
Cubs? Anybody with the Cubs? Going up against Lindblom?
I think that if I would have 1 play in this game, Ian Happ hitting the 6 hole at 3,300 is just Lindblom struggles more, obviously, to lefties big time. So I like the price tag at Ian Happ. He's been hitting well this year. So I don't mind him, but definitely not a team I'm going like full out stacking against. I think I would prefer the pitcher over going like full stack against him. So, but Ian Happ, I'll definitely have interest to be like a one-off.
Brewers, anything, JSU?
For me, no. I get it. Their lineup is strong at the top, but like Lester's just one of those pitchers who, even though I think he's not good, I just don't want to attack him. Like he just doesn't get shelled. Like he doesn't get enough where I can full stack against him and feel like super confident that he has a chance of getting shelled. Like, he just does enough to limit the damage where, like, yeah, you can get like a mini stack or 1 or 2 guys you like, and maybe they pay off. But there's just other ways to go on this slate that I don't need to go here.
All right, so if you go to the FanDuel main slate, there's 2 games on there that DK doesn't have. Why doesn't DK have the Toronto game? Do we know why that is? Is it 7? Is that –
7. I don't think that's why it's not on there. I think it's just the timing. It doesn't start till later, right?
Yeah, you know what? You've got the
they always did this on
game.
Sundays. They always did this on Sundays where they stopped like after the 2 o'clock, 2:20 games on the baseball main slates where FanDuel always took normally a few more. Yeah, DK always does this.
Clock game. Is what? So I think it must be maybe because they pushed the game out. I don't know. Anyways, any plays, JSU, any plays from this game, either side? No.
Not really. No.
It's garbage. Tony?
Yeah.
No, I mean, there's like weather there too. So, I mean, we got a doubleheader, 7-inning games. You got weather. It's just an easy fade for me.
Right.
I mean, if
and
that game
Colorado,
beats me,
Texas, this is the last game on the FanDuel slate. You love the unders in Colorado, Tony. I know
and
that.
they just keep winning too. Like they've been printing. I mean, I like the under again today, but yeah, I mean, on the FanDuel slate, you're going to have people playing cores. So all of our offenses that we've already talked about are lower owned, which is good. I don't know. I mean, sure, cores is I'm going to say the same thing about cores every day for the rest of the season. If you play cores, play it. If you fade it, I mean, you just have to make a decision. It's always a good spot. It always has the highest total, always has upside. You just have to, I mean, you can't stay in the middle ground. I never like with my 3 teams either to like play one cores and then fade on. I'm not that type of player. I'll either play it on all 3 and just kind of go all in on it, or just fade it. Today, I'll probably just fade it. I mean, I could see like a +1 like last night with Dietrich. I do that sometimes, but as far as full stacks, I'm staying clear.
JSU, you got,
Yeah.
let me see, just real quick. Who was it? Colby Allard today, right? And he got rocked his first couple of years in a few appearances. He's gotten off to a nice start this year, though. I mean, he's got 9 Ks in 9 innings. He's only had a couple starts. He shut down the Angels in his last.
Yeah, who was on that game? Big T was 1% owned. Colby. I played him in that live final last year. I seriously think he's better than people think he is.
JSU, anybody from this game?
Honestly, I have the same take as Tony pretty much, where if you play cores, like most of the time I try and fade it unless I think for some reason they're not going to be as high owned as normal at cores. Like that's the time when I look to cores as like a full stack. But if you're someone who likes to play, I mean, they're going to be very popular. Like this game is going to be super popular, just like it is pretty much every day that they play a cores. So if you like that, what I recommend is playing this stack and then trying to find a lower owned, somewhat stack on FanDuel to pair it with, but a lot of people are going to do that. A lot of people are going to stack this game up. So if this game flops and you're on the right side of that, I mean, you're going to be looking good. If you got like the White Sox, at way lower ownership who go off, or the Twins, or like whoever, like even Houston on FanDuel, like I think Houston on FanDuel will be, they should be higher owned than they will be just because of the fact that the Colorado game is on the slate. So yeah, that's just my thing. I would rather go to the White Sox, Houston, Minnesota, especially on FanDuel.
Okay, guys, let's get to the stacks. I think I just listened to this whole show. White Sox, Tigers, Astros, Nats, bottom of the order. Twins, of course. JSU, did I miss anybody? Like, what's your number one stack out of all these guys? Because this is the teams you talk about. White Sox, Tigers, Astros, bottom of the order for the Nats. What am I missing here? What's your favorite?
Yeah, I think my favorite, it's real tough. I think the White Sox as like my favorite, like, I think they're going to be a little sneaky, honestly. So I think the White Sox would be my favorite, like, sneaky GPP stack. It's interesting with like Detroit. I mean, a lot of people are going to play Scherzer, and they're going to need some of these lower owned or like cheaper stacks to go with. I still think Detroit is low, but they might not be like, really low like they should be, honestly, just because Scherzer's on the slate. And everyone's going to want to pair them with McCullers. Like that's going to be the favorite pitcher pairing. So you're going to need to get a really cheap stack. But yeah, I think the White Sox are one for me. And then I would list it like the Twins and Houston and Washington. That's how I would rank them, I think.
All right. How about you, Big T?
So I think the more I'm looking at it, I think I'd still rank Houston number one, but the White Sox are right there for me. Definitely 1, 2. And yeah, I like Detroit more and more as far as a filler type team where we played a couple guys from there. I like Cleveland too. We didn't talk a ton about them, but they've had it going. I like that game. I mean, the Cleveland Detroit, decent total. I'm going to spread around, though. I'm going to lock in at pitcher, like play Max, play one of those cheap guys with him, and then move my hitters around a little bit. I don't think I'll have too many hitters on all three teams.
Well, if you're only doing 3 lineups, let's say that. So do the Astros have to be in one of those 3 lineups today?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I think you should, because they have by far the most upside, at least on the DK slate, I think. They have games where they'll score 18 runs and stuff. So if you're playing 3 teams, I can't imagine not making 1 or 2 Houston stacks of the 3 teams.
You can even go on the bottom too there, because Correa, you got their 2 and their 4 hitter hitting at the bottom of the order.
It's a perfect example, though. Like, play one team where you play just the good guys, the normal, the 1, 3, 4, 5, 6 type thing, and then play a random one where you play because that's the same team but completely different builds. So maybe that's 2 of your 3 teams. That's probably honestly what I'll end up doing.
Tyler O'Neill is your home run call today?
Oh yeah, that's my sneaky one. Yeah, Tyler O'Neill's like my random +1 home run today.
JSU?
Yeah. I mean, just a random, or are we just giving out?
Random ones are fun.
I mean,
Cruz.
You made fun of this guy, but Carter Keyboom is going to hit a home run.
See, I like calls like that though. That's how you pick a home run.
He's 3K, so I'm going to have some Keyboom in my lineup. He helped me that time when you told me to play that slate. So I got to get a little Keyboom in there.
Mm-hmm.
All right, good. I mean, good for you, Carter Keyboom. I didn't see that coming, JSU. I did not see that coming out of you.
I got to keep you on your toes, Holden.
I like it. Sure. I absolutely love it. Yeah. Why are you guys fading Joe Odom today? I mean, come on, guys.
There's no way JSU knows what team that dude plays for.
Joe Odom?
Yeah.
Joe Odom?
Without looking, which team does he play for, JSU?
I couldn't tell you which team he plays for. Is that the guy that you got made fun of for not knowing?
No, that was a different guy. But
he's going up against McCullers.
To be totally fair, though, before I looked at the lineups, I had no idea who Joe Odom was either.
Oh, you didn't know
I
Joe
know
Odom?
now.
Him and D. Gordon for that $4,000 at the here's the bottom. The whole order today. I think their average salary.
How are you going to ask me for a guy who's not even in the line? Is he in the lineup?
Yeah, he's in the
He's in the lineup. Joe Odom's in the lineup.
Showing it to me.
You don't take Joe Odom out of the lineup, JSU. Joe Odom is there.
Okay.
Joe Odom. The best part is chat's going to make fun of us. He's some super prospect. Or like
probably.
Over me.
Yeah, well, he might be a prospect, but he ain't doing anything right now. He's Joe Odom. He's $2,000. He's my call for the home run of the day.
Oh,
awesome.
If you get the Joe Odom. Off the colors, too.
That would be remarkable, wouldn't it? It's not going to happen, but I mean, absolutely terrific. This guy had a 672 OPS in the minors. 455 games. So maybe Joseph Odom isn't the greatest call for a home run, but
be impressive though.
It would be impressive.
Take a good victory lap about
it. Well, now I'm joking about it so much, you just be like you're joking about it. You're right.
I mean, I can't play him already because I don't know who he is. So I'm just going to refuse to play guys who I don't know who they are. All right, chat. That's how I'm doing it. So I'm just not going to play a guy I don't know. So
he must be a really good pitch framer because he can't hit for shit. My God, this guy's bad. He's really bad.
To be fair, Seattle is pretty bad.
Yeah, they are pretty bad.
All right, guys. Very good. It was fun. Let's go. Go win some more money today. I'm going to try to win some money, but go win another 100K, JSU.
How come he gets to win it again? Why can't I win it today?
Well, I was about to say that. You cut me off. So now I hope you only win 10,000 again instead of 100,000.
I'll take it. I'll sign up. Where do I sign up?
I'll be glad to see my boy Big T take down the 100K, and I'll take 10K. I'd be happy. Happy.
Oh, that's just a straight up beta move, dude. That's horrible. Oh, Big T. I wouldn't even accept that invitation if I was.
Big T's my boy. I don't care. Listen, I just want Run Pure to run pure. I want us all to ship. I want someone in the chat to ship. Like,
yeah.
We don't need to be greedy here. Like that,
It was an impressive day, and you guys are off to an impressive start. And I'll just say, I throw in my core plays every day, and it cashes. Listen, I'm not a high volume player, and I'm actually not even playing cash this year because I'm looking at your stuff, and it's like,
don't even get Tony started on playing cash right now,
especially in baseball.
No cash, Tony.
No, not in baseball.
No, we're not cashing it up. And just real quick, White Sox offense, like they're going off today. Is that what you're saying? Is that your call? White Sox offense? Team total over 5.5?
Yeah, I like it.
All right, guys. Great. Cappy, thanks for running the show today. Big T, JSU. I'll catch you guys tomorrow. I'm Holden Kushner from Pure Sports. Oh, give us a like. Bye-bye.